Simon, the President, he did a pretty good job there, but is that one you would advise others to emulate?
Well, I mean, he's amazing. The thing is, when leaders are heckled, it's like the mask comes down and you get a moment of truth. This is when the real person emerges. And if you're a great leader, like I think Barack Obama is, you're basically a good person, I think this is an opportunity for you to show that kind of strength. If someone's up there and they're putting up an act, they're a little bit too phony, and it comes down and this sort of thing happens, then it is excruciating. And I thought Barack Obama handled that absolutely perfectly, and it will do him no harm at all.
And what it was just his air of complete confidence. The mask didn't come down with him. It wasn't just what he said, it was his expression when he said it.
Yes, absolutely, because this is the real person. So there's no big leap going on there between the real Barack Obama and the Barack Obama who's up on the stage. This gives people an opportunity to actually see the real person who he is, the kind of person that you would find in the Oval Office, discussing national security matters, having foreign policy meetings. This is exactly what people need from their leaders. They need to be able to know that they can trust them, that they're confident, they don't get scared in these situations, and they can control a meeting. Anything less than that would have had people worried.
He used humour, though. Didn't get angry.
He did use humour. He waited till the post had been taken out of the room by the Secret Service before he did it, but he did use humour in the end. I mean, I think it would help most people when they're dealing with hecklers if they had the Secret Service.
I mean, what's your favourite sort of tip for dealing with a heckler?
Again, if you have the Secret Service on your side, use them. If not, engage them and try and make a moment out of it. Try and use it to make something.
Quite brave, I suppose, to try heckling in those circumstances. I
think so. I mean, I don't think the irony of the situation would have been lost on the man who was shouting no more deportations as he was forcibly taken somewhere against his will.
There's an old Peter Sellers one, with one of my favourites, which is someone heckling a Tory MP at the back, says, "What about the workers?" To which he says, "Indeed, sir, what about the workers?" What's your favourite put down?
Well, I was thinking about the old Monty Python. Like, you know, what have the Romans ever done for us? Aqueducts! You remember that fantastic one? So that was it, yeah.
I hate to say this, but one I remember was Bernard Manning years ago. I'll slightly paraphrase it. Someone in the audience said, "You fat moron," and he went, "Get it right. You fat rich moron."
What's your favourite one?
I like the way Harry Hill deals with hecklers, in that he totally disarms them by saying, "Well, you might think that, but I know I've got a chicken at home in the oven at home."
No, I don't get that.
It's just, he takes what they're doing and just rephrases, he takes what they want out of the situation.
Right.
And moves it to something he wants to say, which is just discussing his food at home.
Right.
I mean, you do a lot of business speeches and things like that, and public speaking doesn't necessarily come naturally to a lot of businessmen as it does to politicians, and I suspect they're pretty terrified of hecklers, are they?
Yeah, they are, but I think you go back to the question of why do people actually heckle? Well, it's because their voice isn't being heard, or they perceive their voice is not being heard within that room. And so as a speechwriter, when I'm writing speeches for people, I'm always trying to imagine what the people who are thinking about heckler are thinking about heckling are actually got going through their mind. And then you try and answer that question. Because a speech is a really weird thing. It breaks all of the rules of normal social interaction. Normal social interaction is a dialogue, isn't it? And a speech is a monologue. And to get away from it feeling really odd and weird, a good speech has the illusion of a dialogue in which, of course, Obama has always done so brilliantly with his call and response thing, and yes, we can, that kind of preachery engagement with the audience.
I mean, for Barack Obama, it's quite easy because he's always come across as a very cool, witty guy. I mean, is it something you can learn dealing with a heckler?
Yeah, I think one of the mistakes that you can make, and it's a split-second judgment, is whether or not you're going to fight them, or, you know, it's kind of whether or not you engage with them, or you try and eliminate them. Basically.
I mean, comedy, quite a lot of, is monologues, people telling stories, but actually, good comedians depend on interruptions to a certain extent.
Yes, I think you certainly learn to love them. I think when everyone starts out, they're a little worried by getting thrown off by someone shouting something. And there are two kinds of heckle. When you start out, there are people who are just telling you you're not very good, which is more difficult to deal with than people trying to be helpful.
I mean, you've done stuff for Have I Got News For You, and I remember one of the producers there saying to me, the worst thing is when a comedian goes into a routine.
Yes, I mean, when someone starts just doing material off the back of something, It's really when you find, as was said, that there are moments of truth when someone heckles, when you find something new and unexpected and real, and that's what people enjoy watching in comedy.
I love a good heckle, because if someone comes and they say something stupid, but the comedian says something witty back, that's really great. And if the heckler's witty, that's really good too. Probably not so good for the comedian, though.
Well, it can be. I mean, you learn to turn it to your advantage. You learn, after a while, that you know you're going to get back to what you want to say, that you're going to take a little time out, deal with this, possibly find something you've never found before, a moment that will only be seen by these people and will be something special and unique to that night, and then you get to go back to what you were saying before.